Peace, my family, and we're all back to all those coming out of that good cocoon for the first time. Welcome. This is your girl, the butterfly, and we about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all that good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right in that good 9 mind. How y'all feeling today? Hope you guys most definitely moving on up in your higher natures and cleansing. Say what? Cleansing the lows. I came on here today to express and share another clip from our master teacher's book called The L's Holy Injiyl, the book of Revelations. This right here will certainly help you on this good journey within. So, with that being said, let's get started, family. This is chapter 13, and it reads, "The beast rises from the sea. This is the beginning of the United Nations. The state of Israel is formed because of it." And it reads again, "The beast," verse 1, "And I stood upon the beach, and I recognized a beast-like creature ascending up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on its horns 10 crowns, and on its head was the name Blasphemy." And it reads again, "And I, Injiyl, John, saw, standing upon the beach, a beast ascending from the sea, and it had 7 heads, 10 horns, were 10 crowns, and on its head was the names of Blasphemy. And I, Injiyl, bar Zebedee, stood upon the beach, and I recognized a cow, a living beast, like creature ascending up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and on its horns 10 crowns, and on its head was the name Blasphemy. And I stood upon the sea, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of Blasphemy." It reads again, "And I, John, son of Zebedee, stood upon the beach, and I recognized a beast-like creature representing the United States of America, having 7 heads for England, Russia, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and the United States, and 10 horns for their 10 leaders, signifying the ruling and leadership of each country, being the symbol of Leviathan, which is mentioned in the Bible 5 times, in Job 41:1, Psalm 74:14, Psalms 104:26, Isaiah 27:1, and Psalms 74:14. Leviathan is called the piercing and crooked because he gets into the hearts and subconscious of the people and deceives them. Leviathan literally means spiritually bound. By definition, Leviathan is a monster, a jointed monster, symbolized by any of the reptile family. Leviathan is referred to as the serpent, the dragon, and a beast. This beast was ascending up out of the sea, representing the multitude of people living within the shores of the United States of America, and on its horns 10 crowns. And it reads, Daniel 2:23 through 33, and describes how this beast will be made of various compounds and various components. The head made of gold, the arms and the breast made of silver, the belly and the thighs made of brass, and lastly, the feet made of a mixture of iron and clay. Notice how the metal that its part is made of decreases in value from gold to clay, as the four living creatures represent the four empires of the evil one that have existed on earth. Each part of the beast describes also represent an empire. The head of gold, Daniel 2:32. Babylon. Gold is symbolic of a ruling royalty and monarchy. For Babylon was a great empire ruled by dynasties, headed most prominently by Nimrod, son of Cush, and Hammurabi, and Nebuchadnezzar. Babylon is ahead of the beast because it carries the intellect of those empires to come. The beast in arms of silver, Daniel 2:32, is Greece. Belly and thighs of brass, Daniel 2:32, is Rome. The feet of iron and clay, Daniel 2:32, Europe and America. Iron represents Europe because it was a strong empire, socially, economically, and politically. By these means, it spread and walked its culture throughout the earth. Clay represents America and how its society is weak and degenerative. Though, as mighty as the beast may seem, it will be humbled by a mere stone, as David, son of Jesse, slew the 7-foot tall giant Anakim, Goliath, son of Goliath and Pharaoh, who possessed 6 toes on its feet and a double row of sharp teeth with a mere slingshot. The fact that the stone used to cut down the beast is described as a stone cut without hands. Daniel 2:34. And it's uncut and unpolished stone or pebble. A polished stone is one that has first been found in the mine like a raw diamond, then taken to a jeweler who finds its alliterateness and buffs it into splendor. One moment. Or, as in the case with gold, which is found deep in the earth, it is melted down and sharp into form. The uncut refers to that in the raw, which has its own raw edges chipped off, and result is a substance such as marble. The Holy Tabernacle Ministries of the world today represents the little stone. We are unpolished and uncut because we are in the belly of the beast, doing the work of El Elo, the Most High. The fact that we have been able to accomplish so much with all the facts and little jewels that are crumbed within the scrolls, in which a short time is a miracle in itself. The miracle of a little stone being a infinite destruction of a seemingly indestructible beast, but it is the very beast called America. The true Ansars, aiders of Allah, who are the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, are a product of. Here we are as a raw uncut gems, but we have the leisure of a pearl, and lying in the filth of the oyster. That's right. The filth of the world make up just as the dirt of the sea, which gets inside of the oyster and causes it to form a pearl. The world kept needling us with the elements of hatred and racism. Every time Nubians would try to establish something, the Canaanite would crush it. He crushed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Pedro Albidosi, Campbell Messenger, Noble Drew Ali Messenger, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Shiango Dewel Amin Faisal, Clarence 13X, but he will not crush us. We have already struck a blow at some of the beast's false doctrines, such as Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. People are now waking up and realizing all over the world that they have been lied to about who the Messiah, Jesus, was. The final empire in these last days will have a swift decline before it is finally over. All false doctrines will fall, taking the beast and its empire from which it will never rise again. And on the beast, America's head was the name blasphemy, such as God, Jehovah, Christ, Allah, etc. Names that were given to Eli anew the Most High by the Christians, the Pentecostals, the Seventh-day Evangelists, the Sunni Muslims, the Christian, the scientists, and Jews. The Creator takes on different names in different countries. In France, it would be Dieu. In Scotland or Ireland, it would be Gaia. In Sweden, it would be God. And in Spain, it would be Dios. In Nigeria, it would be Shango. In India, it would be Brahma or Parmata or Pramata or Parvatama. Or in ancient Egypt, it would be Amun-Ra. And in Babylon, it would be Bel. And in China, it would be Buddha. In Persia, it would be Mazda. In Greece, it would be Theos. In Saudi Arabia, it would be Allah. In Jerusalem, it would be Yahweh. In ancient Sumer, it would be Anu. And in the satanic religion, it would be Satan. So, verse 2. And it reads, And the beast who I saw resembled a leopard, and his feet resembled the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and his dragons gave him power, and he has great authority. So the beast who I, Ukiana, saw resembled a leopard, and its feet resembled the feet of a bear, and its mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the Tayan gave him power, and he has supreme authority. And the beast who I, Ukiana, Bar Zebedee, saw resembled a leopard, and his feet resembled the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him power, and he has great authority. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And the beast who is America And I, John, son of Zebedee, saw resembled a leopard having many diverse nationalities of people who have flocked to and settled within its shores as a result of its reputation of being the land of plenty, calling itself the melting pot. And its feet resembled the feet of a bear, being very powerful and large. The first bear is symbolic of Theodore Herzl, founder of the political Zionism and Zionist movement, who took the task of leading back the so-called persecuted Jewish masses of the world to the Palestine. And the second bear was Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States. Next, the third bear was represented by the four-star Army, the General H. Norman Shiwar Zuckerforth, and he was commander of all the American and allied forces in Saudi Arabia, and he is referred to as the Bear or Stormy Norman. And the mouth of the beast was the mouth of a lion, being very arrogant and loud and boastful. And the evil reptilian gave him power, inspiring his agents to do his bidding because that is their purpose on earth. Ever since the beginning of creation, and the United States has great authority in ruling over many nations. In verse 3, and it reads, And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the planet earth wondered after the beast. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And I, John, son of Zebedee, saw one of the United States heads, who was Ronald Wilson Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, and the former governor of California, who gave the Church of Satan their chapter in 1966 AD, thereby recognizing it is a legal church of worship, was shot on March 30th, 1981 AD by John W. Hinckley, as if he were dead, and it looked as though he was fatally wounded at first. Yet Ronald Wilson Reagan sustained the gunshot wound to the chest, and the wound healed after only 2 hours of surgery, and he returned to office 12 days immediately after the incident. So the whole planet Earth wondered about this beast. People were amazed at Ronald Reagan, his rise to presidency, and how he escaped death. This one incident made Reagan one of the most impressive of all the United States presidents. Verse 4, and it reads, And everyone worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the human beast, and they worshipped the human beast, saying, Who is like this human beast? Who is able to fight with him? Question. So they prostrated to the serpent, who gave authority to the beast, saying, Who is like the beast, and who is able to kill it? And everyone worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the human beast, and they one moment. And everyone worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the human beast. And they worshipped the human beast, saying, Who is like this human beast? Who is able to fight him? Question. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Question. And everyone in the world, everyone in the whole world, worshipped the reptilian representative here of the United States. There isn't a nation on earth who didn't bow down to this country, America. the United States had made the world dependent upon it in some shape or form, neither financially, economically, or militarily, which gave power to the human beast. The United States is also so powerful because it's literally received its power from the evil reptilian. Since the term of Woodrow Wilson, succeeding presidents have been under the influence and guidance of the Illuminati for the state of Israel. Several presidencies were instrumented into their cause. For instance, President Franklin D. Roosevelt was manipulated by gigabytes from the time he went into Ebony as governor to the state of New York. Being a president of the United States, he was responsible for entering the United States into World War II. And President Henry S. Truman helped the Zionists when he realized or recognized Israel as a sovereign state. And as a result, there was an armed uprising in Palestine by 800,000 armed aliens transported into Israel in a conspiracy organized by the Zionists throughout the world. It was President Truman who helped Israel become a member of the United Nations. President Dwight D. Eisenhower is another president who was pawned in the hands of the Jebusites, was responsible for Eisenhower being elected as president of the United States. As a result, President Eisenhower remained faithful to his Zionites and tried to oblige them whenever he could. And in 1956 AD, Zionist illegal occupation of Palestine still existed. The middle Zionist and illegal occupation of Palestine, another $500 million of United States taxpayers' money. The President Nixon, who was in favor of the illegal, immortal theft of Palestine by the Zionites. One moment. In 1981 AD, President Reagan made a covenant of support for the state of Israel, where the United States will protect Israel for a period of 7 years. Although power is passed on to Israel, there is still no other country which can compare with the United States in wealth or power. After former President George Bush was sworn into office, the pale so-called Jew has been losing his power. Their time is up, and the South is now in power, and the Republicans are in office, and you are going to see a rise in the war that is taking place in Israel. Former President Bush to the Jebusites will withdraw their troops from Israel, and Jebusites told them no. So things will be at a standoff for the Jew, but just because the focus is off of them for a while doesn't mean he is resting in his establishment. And they worship the human beast, saying, "Who is like the human beast? No nation can be compared to the United States. Its culture, influence dominates the whole world. Who is able to fight with him? What nation is able to wage war against America and its Jewish allies and win?" Question. Verse 5. And it reads, "And there was given into him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given to him to continue 42 months. and then he was given a mouth speaking with supremacy and blasphemy, and was given the authority to do things for 42 months. And there was given to him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemy and power was given to him to continue for 42 months. And there was given into him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemy and power was given into him to continue for 42 months. Then the state of Israel, was given a mouth of a place in the United Nations on May 11, 1949 AD, when the state of Israel became a member of the United States nation, and authority was given into it. The state of Israel, even though it had not complied with the United Nations resolution, it was still granted the favor of becoming a member to do things for 42 months, which is 3.5 years. Verse 6. And he opened his mouth in a blasphemy against the Theos, blasphemy his name and tabernacle and them that dwell in Orion skies. And he opened with his mouth blasphemy against Allah, and he blasphemed his name and his tabernacle and the dwellers of Ha-Samra. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against Yahweh the Elohim, and blasphemed his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in Samia. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And the state of Israel, opened his mouth once it obtained a place in the United Nations, and used its position to assert its own philosophies in order to reach its goal, that of securing its so-called homeland. Blasphemy against Yahweh of the Elohim, using the United Nations as an opening forum to speak out as if it were supreme. And he blasphemed his name and his tabernacle and the dwellers of the Orion star, or of the Orion skies. Beast wants to kill the holy ones. The beast wants to kill the holy ones. Verse 7. And it reads, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and powers given to him over the kindreds and tongues and Gentile nations, and to conquer them, and authority was given over all the tribes and people and tongues in every nation, and to conquer them, and authority was given over all the tribes and people and tongues in every nation. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and powers given to them over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. And the state of Israel, was given the right to take over Palestine from the native Arabs and kill, and they were given the permission to take Palestine from the native Arabs and original inhabitants, and settle within the area, pushing them out, and then make war with the Arabs who tried to retaliate against the action of the so-called Jews. And it reads again, and they had the right to kill the holy ones, 144,000, to conquer them. Once he realizes the power of our teachings, he will try to stop the propagation of the right knowledge, right wisdom, leading to right understanding and sound right reason. A pure heart, Nuwapu. Authority was given over all the tribes and nations of people and tongues in every Gentile nation. The United States gives the state of Israel the power in the United Nations to do whatever they want to the inhabitants of the countries like Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, and Ethiopia. And it reads again, all who worship the beast has their name taken out of the scroll of life. All who worship the beast has their name taken out of the scroll of life. Verse 8. And it reads, and all that dwell upon the planet earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the scroll of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And all who dwell on the planet earth prostrate to him, in whose name is not written in the scroll of life of the Lamb who was slaughtered since the formation of the world. And all that dwell upon the planet earth shall worship him, whose names are not in the scroll of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life or of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And all who dwell on planet earth worship to him. And all who dwell on the planet earth worship to him. The United States, its pale Jewish image of Jesus. And all who dwell on planet earth worship to him. The United States and its pale Jewish image of Jesus. And worshiping his image of the fake Messiah Jesus, you're actually worshiping the so-called Jew. The Christians and Jews whose names are not written in the scroll of life of the Lamb and the original seed who was slaughtered since the formation of the world, since Adam, and Hawa, Eve, sons, when Cain slew his brother Abel. Verse 19. And it reads, if any man has an ear, let him hear. He who has an ear, let him listen. If any man has an ear, let him hear. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He who has an ear, then listen. Verse 10. And he that is led into captivity shall go into captivity, but he that kills with the sword must die by the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Whosoever is meant to be in prison will be in prison, and whosoever is to be killed by the sword. So now, right here, are the holy ones in their patience and faith. Whosoever is meant to be in prison will be in prison. Whosoever is to be killed as a sword. So now, right here, are the holy ones in their patience and faith. And he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. Whosoever is meant to be in prison because they did not die right away will be in prison without a fair trial. Those who are not killed right away are carted away like animals to unsanitary prisons. And whosoever is to be killed by a sword, then he shall be killed by the sword. So now, right here, are the holy ones in their patience and faith, because when things get bad, they are the only ones who stay. Only those with perseverance and endurance will be able to survive the hardships and tribulations and remain amongst the faithful up until the time of ease. And it reads, the false prophets arise. Verse 11. Behold, another beast comes up about of the planet earth, and he had two horns like a lion, and he spoke as a dragon. And I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like the horns of an Ephraim, and he speaks out just like the beast. And I, Gehenna Barzebi, saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like the horns of a lamb, yet he speaks out just like the beast. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. And I, John, saw another beast, unlike the first beast, coming up out of the planet earth. The fact that it came out of the earth has the meaning that this beast took its leadership, and it was not given power by the people. He had two horns representing many antichrists and many Daniels who have been in power throughout the time around the world from both religious and political arenas. They rise up in the power and fool people by their meekness and supposedly good intentions. They appear as lambs, innocent and genuine for the masses of people, but in actuality, they are frauds. Two such Daniels are John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, and Pope Paul VI. They were both in power during the period of the Antichrist. These two horns represented the division of church and state. John F. Kennedy was a Catholic, the first Catholic to become President of the United States. This demeanor was extremely pleasant and likable, which captivated both Caucasians and Nubians. Yet it was J.F. Kennedy who was responsible for starting the Vietnam War and granting funds into NASA for extensive outer space travel and exploration. Pope Paul VI was the first pope ever to come to the United States on October 4, 1965 AD. The Pope visited for 13 hours under the pretense that it was a personal appeal to the United Nations for peace. Pope Paul VI, as other succeeding popes, made extensive use of his power to control not only the religious faction of the state, but also the decisions which made by the political heads of the various countries around the world. These two horns also represent the two seats of power, from America to Israel, and now Israel to America, and the world will be deceived into thinking they are humble or gentle like a lamb, yet he, the pale Jew, speaks out just like the beast America. Israel leads the world in worshiping the United States. And it reads, "And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the planet earth and them which dwell therein to worship the beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he exercised all the authority of the first beast between his hands, and made all those who dwell upon the planet earth prostrate to the first beast who was healed of its deadly hit. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the planet earth and them which dwell therein to worship the beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell in to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he, the pale so-called Jew in the state of Israel, exercised all the authority of the first beast, America, because America backs them between his hands under the power of the United States, and made all those who dwell upon the planet earth to worship the first beast who was healed on its deadly hit during the Great Depression of 1929 through 1937 AD. Israel is given the right to make the war with the Middle East. And it reads, and he does great wonders, so that he can make fire come down from the Orion skies on the planet Earth in the sight of a human being. And he made supreme signs so that he was able to send down fire from heaven upon the planet Earth in front of the people. And he does great wonders so that he can make fire come down from the Shamayami skies on the planet Earth in the sight of the human being. And he dwelled great wonders so that he maketh the fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of man. And he, the state of Israel, made great signs to the world so that he was able to send down fire from the skies upon the planet earth to the Middle East in front of the nation of people. They claimed that this war was a religious war, and that they want to regain the holy land of Canaan, and that was one of the greatest lies ever told. The war that took place in Palestine was not about religion. It was about politics, economics, power, and money. One moment. Alright, now. So the world mistakenly seen Israel as the chosen ones. Verse 14. And deceive them that dwell upon the planet earth by means of their miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying, and he led astray those that dwell upon the planet earth from the sake of his signs which he does right in front of the beast, when saying, all who dwell upon the planet earth, to them that dwell upon the earth, that they shall make an image to the beast which had been wounded by a sword and did live. And they should make a picture of the beast which was hit with the sword but lived, and deceive them that dwell upon the planet earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell upon the planet earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had been wounded by a sword, and did live. And deceived them that dwell upon the earth by the means of these miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell upon the earth, that they should be in an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he led into ignorance those that dwell upon the planet earth by tricking and deceiving the world into thinking that they are the Most High's chosen people and the descendants of the Israelites by the way of Abraham. This is what Revelation chapter 3 was referring to when it said people will think the Israelites will still exist. They are not the true Israelites. The true Israelites were a pure Nubian seed who failed to be faithful and forfeited their covenant with Yahweh by altering the laws that he places in their hands. For 430 years, the children of Israel toiled at the mercy of the ancient Egyptians, who were also of the pure Nubian seed at that time, until Moses came to deliver them to the promised land. Exodus 12:40. Still they complained and set up false identities before Yahweh and caused their destruction. 2 Kings 17:18 of the Israelites. And Aram was from the tribe of Judah and Dan. Now Dangoah or Danclub and Sudden and the Philistines of Ethiopian. The fake Jews of today are from the cursed pale seed of Canaan and Shingar, and their son Jebus. Jesus called them the synagogues of Satan, Revelations 3:9, and he told them that they were not of Abraham, even though they called him Father. Jesus said that their real father was the devil. John 8:39-44. He said that they were Gentiles, the real heathens, and he told his disciples not to go to their lands and preach the gospel. They don't want to accept or recognize the Messiah Jesus as having been their Savior because they know he didn't come to save them. He came only to claim his own, the lost sheep of the house of Israel only. John 15:24. The Messiah Jesus that they are waiting for is the Antichrist. And by the way of his signs, Israel tells everyone that they are the real lost tribe of Judah and that their power in war, yet being outnumbered, means that Yahweh is on their side, and that is not true. The United States is helping them succeed, which he does right in front of the beast in the open form of the United Nations, and its actions are televised on the media, saying to all who dwell upon the planet earth that they shall make a picture of the beast in an image of a pale Jew, Jesus, which dates all the way back to the 3rd century, 200 AD, who they tell you was hit with a sword pierced by nails to the cross, but lived because he really did not die on the cross. Another deception. They want you to believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins, then resurrected. Again, this is a trick. They made you believe that this is true. Then you will have compassion of what this image represents. Their idea of how the Messiah was nailed to the cross is scientifically ridiculous. Theologians insist that Jesus was affixed to the cross at the wrist by driving a nail through it. It was hammered through the hands and feet of a accursed victim sentenced to death. According to these so-called scholars, the nail had to pass through the wrist bones, and then what support do you think they would have had? So according to these so-called scholars, the nail had to pass through the wrist bones, and then what support do you think that they would have? Question. It's all a big hoax. The truth of the matter is that the Messiah, Yahshua, never was on the cross in the first place. The image of the Jew is kept alive, verse 15. And he had power to give the spirit to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he was given the power to make the picture of the beast have a soul, and the picture of the beast speaks, and he will kill all who don't prostrate to this image of this picture of the beast. And he had power to give Ruah, image of the beast, that the image of the beast both speak and cause, that is, as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he that had a power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast will both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he, the state of Israel, has power to give the spirit to the image of the beast, making it come to life, so that the image of the beast should both speak, representing the preaching the so-called Christian evangelists, Pentecostalism, do in the name of the spreading of the good word, and to cause destruction. As many as will not worship the image of the beast, the image of their fake Jesus will be killed. They pretend to be evangelists and Pentecostal preachers in order to teach to spread the image of the beast all over the world. In the past, their religious authorities were the Philistines, the ones who arranged the plot to kill the Messiah Jesus. So it reads on, everyone gets the mark of the beast so that they can buy or sell. The mark of the beast is the number of a man. Verse 16. And it reads, and the beast caused all the people with both big and small, rich and poor, free and slave to get a stamp on their right hand or in the space between their eyes. And he makes all the big and small and the rich and poor and free and slave to get a mark in their hands or on their forehead. And the beast caused all people with big and small, rich, poor, free, slave to get a stamp on their right hand or in the space between their eyes. And he caused all the both small, great, rich, poor, free, bond to receive a mark in their right hand and on their foreheads. And the beast who is so-called Jew, and the beast who is the so-called Jew, caused all nations of people, big, small, to recognize the so-called pale Jew. both the leader and follower, the rich, the poor. The so-called Jew controls every aspect of your society. He controls everything that is seen on the television, in the movies, and what needs to be in the newspapers, what you read in the newspapers. They dominate all of your civil rights and social reform organizations such as the NAACP, the CORE, the Manpower, etc. Those that are free and those that are slaves will have to get a stamp, the mark of the beast, which is money, that carries a hypnotic spell called the spell of Leviathan, Kingu, in their right hand or in the space between their eyes, forehead. Verse 17. So that no one would be able to buy or sell except for those that had the stamp or the name of the living beast of the number 666 of his name. No one will be able to buy or sell except for him who has the mark of the beast or his name or names on his name or the number of his name, so that no one will be able to buy or sell except for those who had the stamp or the name of the living beast or the number 666 on his name or of his name, 666 of his name. And no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name, so that no one will be able to buy or sell anything without credit cards. The world of the Antichrist and his associates will be in a cashless society where every financial transaction will be computerized and executed at business centers and supermarkets without the use of cash, except for those that had the stamp or the name of the living beast or the computer name or the computer number 666 of his name. Everyone's number will be linked into one computer called the beast. This computer will have control over all the trade of the world and the control of the lives of the average citizen. It is linked through an intricate network of computers all over the world. This massive, gigantic, self-performing computer with more than 100 senses input sources is based in 3 places: Belgium, Holland, and Virginia, U.S. And it reads on. Verse 18. And it reads, and this is true wisdom. So let him that have a good mind count the number of the living beast, for it is the number of a human being, and his name is 666. This is wisdom. So for him who has understanding, count the number of the beast, because it is the number of a human being, and his number is 666. This is true wisdom. So let him that have in good mind count the number of the living beast, for it is the number of a human being, and his name is 666. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. This is true wisdom. So let him that have a good mind count the number of the living beast, for it is the number of a human being who was born June 6, 1966 AD, of the many antichrists, and the beast Leviathan number is 666, the number of imperfection. The number of the beast is the number of a pale living being. The ancient Greek word for male is lekos, with the letters R added according to the Greek language, and the sum number is the number of the beast, 666. L equals 30, A equals 1, T 300, E equals 5, I equals 10, and N equals 50. O equals 70, S equals 200, together equaling 666. Let me elaborate on the significance of the birth of a man born on 6/6/66 on June 6, 1966 AD. And in the studying of the meaning of the number 666, it will be best to first have an understanding of its origins and why the number 6 is used at all. It was used as a number in music for the F clef, or as it is now called, the bass clef, which looks like an upside down number 6. First of all, the number 6 has always been associated with the serpent, and the letter S was actually derived from the form of a snake in the striking position. So even the sound of the letter S represents the hissing of the snake, the serpent, the cash. So note that in most languages, the name of the number 6 starts with S, Latin sex, and Spanish sex, in Portuguese sex, German sex, in Hebrew, Chaldean sex, English sex, Arabic set or seta. The reason why I'm bringing out the name or the meaning of the certain letters is because in ancient times they used the letters to hide or mask the number 666 in some Greek dialects. The S was replaced with F, and in the Old English, the small f was used for S, and the F lined in the music using the Old English F. If you take a crossbar of the F, it will also resemble a snake in the striking position, and the letter V was also used interchangeably with S and F, and the V happens to be 6 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. In the English, F represents V in this position, and this is one of the reasons why the English language F and V are interchangeably or knife flights. All languages have their own numerical system, which each letter has its own numerical value. And in Arabic, it was Wahan, Greek Zeta, and originally the 6th letter of the Greek alphabet was Sigma. However, today it is the 18th letter, which is still equivalent to 6. 3 times 6 equals 18. The letter Z or Zeta is the 6th letter of the Greek alphabet, and it is no coincidence that Zeta is the symbol of a snake, something which is related to the devil consistently. Originally, the Hebrew did not use numbers, they used letters to represent them, and the first letters of the Hebrew alphabet were used as numbers. So in this case, the 6th letter of the Aramaic Hebrew alphabet would be Zeta, and you will get ZZZ, or Zayn, which is now the 7th letter, but originally it was the 6th letter, which is now the Wahan. So you will get WWW or WA Waha, Aramaic Hebrew, or Sajid, and equivalent to the number 7, which is the ancient Assyrian number 6, which was taken from the Hebrew, which was taken from the Hindus, from which the Arabs got their number. Again, you see the letter, or do you see the link to the Hindus? So you see whether it is the 6th letter, which is equivalent to the Assyric number 7, or the 7th, which is also equivalent to the Assyric 7, number 7, which is more than or nothing more than the Hebrew number 6, and they simply switch them around to deceive you. So if you look at the chart, the numerical value of Zeta is 7, yet the number 7, you know it today in the English numerical system, it is really the Hindu 6. So whether you use 6 in the Hindu form whether you use 6 in the Hindu form or 6 in the original, it is still the same. The evil reptilian's number can be broken down as 666. Now to you, the last set of 6s may look like 7s, but that's so to get you thrown off. But if you take 7 times 3 equals 21, you will get 21. So 21 is the age when man is considered fully grown and is recognized as a man. This is why Revelations 13:18 it says that the number of the beast is the number of a man. So the Roman number 6, which is written VI is nothing more than the Arabic number 6 in ancient Syriac. And today it is the Arabic 7. And if you add the Arabic number, which is the Roman numerals, it is I, and you will get VI, which is equivalent to 6 in Roman numerals. This is why they use Roman numbers in the English translation of their Quran. The greatest advantage that the evil reptilian has over you is that you think he is some spirit force or some kind of spook, and not that he is a physical being living amongst you. A physical seed that is said in the garden there will be enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. So remember, the disagreeable and agreeable sons of the Creator came down to earth and mixed in with the daughters of man and had children. In John 1:6-7, the Most High asked where he had been, and he said, going from to and fro in the earth, and walking up and down in it. The number of the beast is imperfection. It is governed by the negative forces. The number 666 is incorporated into everything he does, and from this coding or ISBN number, so the logos on products or subliminally evoked messages, which is and can plainly be seen. You are so caught under the spell, although many are waking up, that you can't see the web you're trapped in. It is so important that you awake from this sleep or this spell of sleep called Kingu Leviathan before the and that right there is the end of chapter 13. Alright now, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. If you want to read this yourself, which is so much encouraged, get a better read, I must put it out on my channel. It's already there too, the whole book, but if you just want this section, you send it to yourself and do your self-study, you sure can do it. And I'll send it out to you as soon as I can, so you can do your self-study and read it yourself. Okay? Alright now, if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer. And on that note, I hope you guys know that you are loved beyond this world. Begin to spread the love one to another and be the peace that you seek. Release our master teacher, Dr. Malachi Injiyl. Peace, shalom, shug, divine love, and wah.